this is Keg at the Treehouse, the View from Above Tarot, and this is going to be one of my Let Me Try to Explain videos in the Let Me Explain playlist. And this is about the energy of the suits. And I've got the aces laid out here for a couple of reasons. What I want to talk about here is the fact that we have active and passive suits. I've got this backwards. I'm going to just flip this quickly. Active and passive suits, sometimes called masculine and feminine. And that is because when we think about the Holy Grail, for example, the Holy Grail in the Arthurian myths really related to the cup that Jesus had at the Last Supper. But it also referred to Mary. And if you happen to ever read the book, The Da Vinci Code, or if you have seen the movie, that was about the search for the Holy Grail, right? The Holy Grail actually was supposedly Mary, because Mary and Jesus were married, and that there's this line of people that come from Jesus. So that is why the M is upside down, is if you look at it this way, you can see that the Holy Grail is supposed to be Mary. So that's the mythology around that. Cups are a feminine energy, or a passive energy, which means that they receive. If you look at both the wands and the sword cards, we're looking at phallic symbols, right? These are masculine or active energies. And if you think about both the knights of the wands and the swords as we've seen them, right, those horses are going 100 miles an hour. And if you look at the knights for the cups and the pentacles, they are going much more slowly in a more passive sort of energy. So we have all of these energies in ourselves. Whether we identify as female or male, we have the capacity to act some would say aggressively, but I like to say actively, because that's a healthier way of doing that. And we have the ability to be passive. And we have to be able to receive in order to give and to live in a balanced life. So as long as I've got the aces out here, I'm going to just talk briefly about the yads. And you can see that our Ace of Pentacles doesn't have any yads, and the other three do. This one has 6. And this is the Ace of Swords, which is clarity and logic and making a decision about something. And it points to the 6, which is the Lovers, also known as the Choice, which is an interesting connection there. The Ace of Cups is about the fullness of being attached to yourself. And you've got 5 streams of water, which is emotion. And they refer to the wands, the cups, the swords, the pentacles, and the 5th one is the spirit. And as you can see, coming down from heaven is the Catholic reference to the dove and the communion wafer. And then look at all those yads, and you can count them all up, or you can count the ones in this stream, this stream, this stream, and this stream, and they refer to their numeric partner in the major arcana. And then the Ace of Wands, again, this one has 7 yads that are detached from the wand, and referring to the Chariot, which is success. Again, active energy, phallic symbols, passive energy, receptive. So I want to talk just a little bit about masculine and feminine, active or passive energies as they show up in the court cards, in particularly the Queens and Kings. The Queen's energy is internal. And so we all have an ability to be focused on what our own needs are. And so if you think about the active energy of the wands in the Queen, she is very confident, right? She's a go-getter. She'll get things done. But she is somewhat internally focused. She knows what she wants, and she's going to go after that, which is also true of the Queen of Swords. She has the ability to whack through the BS, if you will. She's got one sword. She's got her own agenda in mind, but she's also a very active card. So while it's her own agenda, she has that active energy to be able to cut through whatever is keeping her from what she wants. And the kings are those who are in charge of the land and the people. I love that description because they have a tendency to need to not only take care of their own concerns, but they've got to take care of the people over whom they are ruling. If you think about it, Queen Elizabeth was queen for over 70 years, right? And she was she was all of those kings. And that was a great example that my mentor had given to me, to say, just because you happen to be feminine doesn't, a feminine person, or identify as a female, doesn't mean that you can't be a king. So I think the King of Hearts gets referred to as the best HR manager you can think of, and the King of Pentacles as the best farmer that you have ever seen. So I mean, those are arbitrary, but I think they illustrate the point that these kings are have a more passive energy than their counterparts in these suits. So we can be, the point is, we can be all of these people in the suited cards, and we have all of these energies. So don't get distracted by the genders that appear. Know that you have the capacity for all of the energies that show up in a reading.